Willow Creek, a quaint, serene town with a dark secret hidden beneath its charming facade. At the edge of town stood an ancient, dilapidated Victorian house. Locals whispered tales of the house being cursed. It stood there, a looming shadow against the sunny disposition of the town. No one dared to approach. The house had been empty for as long as anyone could remember. Previous residents had either vanished or fled in terror. Stories circulated of strange noises, cold spots, and fleeting glimpses of a ghostly figure. Over time, the rumors solidified into a chilling legend. The house became a symbol of fear. John and Emily Miller were a young couple, full of dreams and aspirations. They were excited to start their new life together. When they stumbled upon the old Victorian house in Willow Creek, they saw an opportunity.
This place has so much potential, John. I can already picture our future here.
I know, Emily. It feels like a fresh start, doesn't it?
The house was available at a price that seemed too good to be true. Blinded by their optimism, the Millers dismissed the local legends as mere superstition. They were determined to make the house their dream home. They believed their love could banish any shadow. The Millers began renovations immediately. They ripped down old wallpaper, revealing faded floral patterns beneath. As they worked, they started to notice strange occurrences.
Did you hear that, Emily? The door just creaked open by itself.
It's probably just the wind, John. This house is so old.
Doors creaked open and closed on their own. They would hear whispers in the dead of night. Footsteps echoed in the hallway when no one was around.
Look what I found in the attic, John. This doll. It looks so old.
It's just a doll, Emily. Don't let it spook you.
Despite the unsettling events, the Millers remained undeterred. They attributed the occurrences to the age of the house. As the days turned into weeks, the strange happenings intensified. Emily began experiencing vivid nightmares. She saw a woman in a white gown, her face obscured by shadow, beckoning her. Emily would wake up in a cold sweat, her heart pounding in her chest.
John, I keep having these awful nightmares. There's a woman. She's calling to me.
It's just stress, Emily. We've been working so hard. Try to get some rest.
But deep down, John was beginning to harbor doubts. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. He started to research the history of the house, hoping to find a logical explanation for the unsettling events.
There has to be something about this place, something we missed.
He couldn't ignore the growing sense of dread that had taken root in his heart. Section 5. The Storm. One night, a fierce storm raged outside. The wind howled like a banshee. Rain lashed against the windows, blurring the world outside. The old house creaked and groaned under the onslaught of the elements. Inside, Emily and John huddled together by the fireplace, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames.
Emily, do you think we made a mistake coming here?
I don't know, John. I just don't know.
The power went out, plunging the house into darkness. A deafening crash from upstairs sent them scrambling to their feet. Fear coiled in their stomachs like a venomous snake. As they slowly made their way upstairs, their hearts pounded in unison with the sound of their own footsteps. Section 6. The Lady in White. In the flickering light of a kerosene lamp, they reached the source of the noise. The door to the guest room stood ajar. Inside, furniture was overturned, and shattered glass glittered on the floor. And then they saw her.
John, look, over there by the window.
A woman in a flowing white gown stood by the window, her back to them. Her long, dark hair cascaded down her back. The woman slowly turned, her face finely illuminated by the lamplight. It was a mask of sorrow and rage, her eyes burning with an eerie intensity.
Who are you?
Leave this place or suffer the same fate.
The air grew colder and the room seemed to close in around them as the woman's words hung in the air, heavy with menace. Section 7. The Search.
John, look! She's coming towards us.
Emily, we need to get out of here now.
John and Emily watched in terror as the woman glided towards them. They stumbled back, their screams drowned out by the storm raging outside. They fumbled for the doorknob, their hands shaking uncontrollably. Finally, they managed to escape the room, slamming the door shut behind them. They didn't stop running until they reached the safety of their car.
Just keep driving, John. Don't look back.
They drove through the stormy night, seeking refuge at the nearest motel. The next morning, with the sun shining brightly, they returned to the house with the local sheriff. They were determined to confront the ghostly presence that had terrorized them. But the house stood empty. Section 8. The Disappearance.
I've searched the house from top to bottom. There's no sign of the woman in white, no forced entry, no footprints, no evidence of any other soul ever having been inside.
But we saw her, Sheriff. We both saw her.
It felt so real, like a nightmare brought to life by the storm.
The events of the previous night seemed like a bad dream. Days turned into weeks, and the investigation into the ghostly encounter turned up nothing. However, the strange occurrences in the house continued. John and Emily tried to maintain a semblance of normalcy, but the fear was a constant presence in their lives. Then, one day, the Millers vanished without a trace. Section 9. The Abandoned House. Their disappearance remained a mystery. Some whispered that they had finally met the same fate as the previous occupants of the house. Others speculated that they had simply run away to escape the haunting. The truth remained elusive. The house stood abandoned once more, a silent, brooding testament to the horrors that had transpired within its walls. The once grand Victorian mansion was now a chilling reminder of the Millers' nightmare, a symbol of fear and mystery that cast a long shadow over the town of Willow Creek. No one dared to live in the house again. Section 10. The Legend Continues. The legend of the haunted house lived on, passed down through generations of Willow Creek residents. It became a cautionary tale, a reminder that some secrets are best left buried, and some houses, no matter how grand or inviting, are meant to remain empty.
They say the Millers' ghosts still roam the halls searching for peace.
The Millers' story was a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most idyllic town. A reminder that some mysteries are never meant to be solved, and some doors are best left unopened.